I'm gonna show you how to remove the transmission. Alright, so this is my OM 617 engine. So I'm gonna be removing the automatic trans out of it and all that stuff. I already disconnected the dipstick. There's one bolt holding it right there. I already removed it, and I'm gonna start removing the starter, which is right over there. I already loosened the bolts and all that stuff, but I have to take it out completely. And there's a cable. This one runs down there, so I have to disconnect the cables also. There's my starter. As you can see, those two bolt holes already removed. There was a bracket on it, so that's out of the way. Fortunately, it's really hard to get to the kind of hard to get the cables, but I'll try to take them off maybe first. And then when you go down here, there's gonna be the Allen. Let's see if I can show you. It's gonna be Allen bolt right there, and one on the top. It's gonna be hard to see. Okay. And this is also this bolt, the down starter bolt. It's also holding this thing in the cable. It goes from the motor basically to chassis. So let's get started taking the starter off. So this is the upper bolt right there. I'm using 3/8 ratchet. I'm taking it off. Alright, there's my one bolt. It's this long. Go to the side. Now, basically, I can wiggle my starter. Okay, let's just put this here. So, if I wiggle the starter, it can move already, but now I'm gonna take this bolt off. Let's see. I loosened this one already also. Yeah, you can see it's coming out, and then I have to be careful. I didn't remove the wires going to the starter yet, but I have to hold the starter with one hand and then unscrew this one, and then I'm gonna probably remove the starter completely. Bolt is removed, this cable is out of the way. Okay, let's see, I'm gonna pop this starter out of there. Somehow, if it's gonna come out, I don't know. There. So heavy. There's my starter. Okay. There's my starter. Starter removed out of its original position. Now, since it's lowered, I can most likely get to these wires much easier. Let's try doing it maybe from the top. As you can see, this is the starter's original place, and so I put the starter right here. Now I can get to these wires, basically. So let's try to take them off. Let's see how they look from here. So, yeah, there's the big nut that you have to remove for the positive cable, and there's the small flathead you have to use for the wire from the ignition switch. Come to the top. Actually, that's where I positioned the starter right now. So you see this nut right there, so you need to take off. It's this one right there, that's for the battery plus. I think it's easier to do it from the top. There's my starter. There's a 17mm wrench on it, right over there on the battery plus, and that's how you take it off. Now I can just unscrew it completely. It's a little tough, no space. You can actually move it back this way now. Little by little, it's gonna come off. Okay, so I'll just take it off completely, then we're gonna go for the ignition wire. As you can see, I also have the exhaust removed, otherwise it would be really tough, because there's, see your turbo, just the exhaust goes down there, so it would be blocking everything. And this nut is almost out. Okay, there's my nut, and there's again the washer. There's the wire that's out now, that's it. Okay, now I have to be really careful. I want to make sure the starter doesn't drop. There's the bolt right there for the ignition wire, sorry, this one. There's the bolt, small screw, so let's take it off. Starter is out, so be careful, it's really heavy. It's my solenoid. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to remove this bolt. I'll take care of it later, so I had to cut it. Catch pin ready. I'm gonna remove this right here. I'm gonna drain this trans fluid. Trans fluid is draining. All that stuff. So, just gonna wait until it drains. My trans fluid draining was on Allen key, so it's pretty nice how they have the drain plugs. I'm just gonna wait until it all drains, and then I will drain probably the torque converter because it has drain plug also. So we'll do that. Okay. Yeah, as you can see, the starter is out. And then after I drain the torque converter, I'm gonna start removing these cooling lines. I'll remove these cooling lines on both sides, and probably that this dipstick right here, because I'm gonna have to get rid of it. It's probably held on by one bolt, so it's not a big deal. All that stuff. See, they did some work over there. Probably JB Welder, I don't know. It's crazy. Well, anyways, I'm gonna remove this trans and we'll see what's going on. The trans is still draining, kinda. What I'm gonna take my breaker bar, and what you got here is a 1x116 socket, which fits perfectly on my crankshaft. Right over there. Let's try like so. I'm gonna spin this crankshaft until I see the drain plug over there. So basically what I'm trying to do, I'll have to look at this opening, and I'll see the drain plug right here. And then I'll drain the torque converter also. So let's turn this crankshaft clockwise. Let's do that. There I spun the crankshaft. If you want to look, there's my drain plug. It's also an Allen, so let's just take it off quickly. Allen key, I'm gonna crank it loose. There you go. Of course, don't forget your drain pan. still dripping, so that's fine. Actually, what I can do is I can put this drain plug back in there. Okay, I'm just tighten it with the tool. Oops. So let this thing drain out of there. So the reason why I'm doing it is because when I remove the trans, I don't want the torque converter to, you know, in case something happens, it comes out of the input shaft, then, you know, it's gonna be a big mess. And now I'm just draining it. So there's not gonna be a whole bunch of stuff, a lot of fluid. So I'm trying to keep it clean here. So yeah, let's wait till it dries. So my torque converter is still draining. Now I'm gonna go and start removing these cooling lines. There's a retainer for it, and there's also gonna be a bolt right there holding it. Probably something up here, maybe not. Yeah, there's one more right there. Not hard to see. Let's see. Right over there. Probably same thing on the other side. And then after that, I'll start to remove that big bolt, which is 19mm. Okay, should be more. Looks like there's gonna be more fluid. Okay, there you go. A little more. A little bit more. Alright. So now what you can do is you can move this out of the way and put this bolt back right here. There's a washer, don't lose those washers. Just put it back. There's gonna be no leaks for now coming on your head. This bolt is not gonna go in all the way. As soon as it stops, you stop. That's it. Now let's go to the other side, remove that hose, that line. Let's look at this side. Got some cables, all that stuff. There's the line. We're gonna remove this retainer, remove that bolt. Alright. Fluid is gonna start dripping again. Yeah, not so much fluid, but a little bit. This bolt is back in. This line is free. What I'm gonna do is down there's the bolts for the torque converter that bolts to the flywheel. So again, I'm gonna use this that tool to turn the crankshaft. I'm gonna start removing those bolts. I don't know how many of them there are, maybe 5, 6, or I don't know. We'll see. This is size 13. I'm gonna start removing those bolts. Here's one of the bolts. Right over there. And now I'm gonna turn the crankshaft. I'm gonna look for the next bolt. Let's try this. Alright, it's gonna be hard to see. Give you a shot. There's like 2 more of them. So basically, yeah, let's just go around and remove all of the bolts that hold the torque converter to the flywheel. I'll be good to go here. So this is the last bolt that I'm taking off. Okay, there it is. So in total there's 6 bolts. And now what you have to do is just spin the crankshaft, check if there's any other bolts. If there's if you actually have no more bolts left, then the flywheel will spin independently of the torque converter. So this is the back of the transmission. So what I'm gonna have to do is there's bolts. Let's see, right there. I'll have to disconnect the drive shaft. I'll have to disconnect this mount, this cross member. But first of all, what I want to do is right over there. Let's try to give it a shot. This is my shifter linkage. So I have to pop that off. And then we'll go from there. Clip is removed. I can just separate this thing. So it just simply comes undone. Like so. As you can see, it moves in and out. Okay, so actually I'm going to show you something really quick. So up there's actually right here, this is the linkage from the transmission side. So if you pop that off from that hole, it goes right there. Let's try, where's the thing? Yeah, I brought it up. It goes to that hole, and now it's loose, so pop it off from the transmission side. It's going to be much easier. Now there's this vacuum modulator, there's a vacuum hose going from it, disconnected. I believe this thing is the neutral safety switch, and then on this side there's actually this wiring. It goes here, so it goes right over here. So I believe this is the, I don't know, speed sensor maybe or something, vehicle speed sensor. So I'll be taking that off. Okay, so this sensor right here, like I was saying, it plugs in there. So you just simply wiggle it out. Okay, and then you can just put it somewhere. on the safe spot, like right there. It doesn't want to stay here. Just like so. Still doesn't want to stay. Okay. Okay, that's good. This is the cable coming from throttle body. Not the throttle body, but I mean from where does it connect? It connects to the accelerator pedal. Okay, so and then someone put like, I don't know, JB weld or whatever that thing is, so I have to scrape that off and take that thing out. Let me show you that hose. So it's this cable, and that's where it goes down to. So I think I'll just disconnect it from the top right here. Just pop this thing off somehow carefully, and then right here, and then I'll just release it this way from the top. This thing is out. Now I have to do this. This is out. Here it comes. This cable is ready to come out now. So this dipstick is, like I was saying in the beginning, is loosened. Now I gotta loosen it from the bottom also. Otherwise I'll have no space for this thing to come out because I don't have a lift. Okay, there's my 10mm right there, the bolt that holds the dipstick in place. So remove this thing. Have to be careful to not let any dirt in after you remove the dipstick. Put something in there, but I will do that, but again, I don't care if there's dirt going inside because I'll be pulling this pan off and all that stuff. So let's see, let's take this puppy out of there completely. There you go, I lifted this dipstick. Alright. This is my dipstick. I'll take it down here. Here's my dipstick. That's how it looks. All that stuff. Put it aside. I'll lose this bolt. Okay. I'm gonna plug that hole. Let's see, right there. Put some paper or something. Put in there. That way nothing gets inside. And like I said, this is the cable that we removed from the top. It's ready to go also. Yeah, so this side is basically ready. Now I'm gonna check this side. This other side, the left side, there's a, I believe it's, was it the neutral safety switch, or it's actually the backup for the backup lights. I think it's neutral safety switch, I don't know. I have to figure out how to take it off. But I might actually do it after I lower the trans a little bit so I get more space. But now I'm gonna probably focus on this mount and the drive shaft under the car. So to remove the drive shaft, I'm gonna start over there. in the end. As you can see, I lowered the exhaust. And it's pretty easy. There's just two hangers, one there and one over there, and plus there was this cover right here, which was right here. It was 13mm bolts, probably like 3, 6, like 10 of them. And then this, as you can see, after that, everything gets exposed. So I'm gonna go down there and start removing the drive shaft, and I'm gonna come back here. So I'm in the rear. I'm removing 1, 2, 3. I'm not gonna remove all 6 bolts. Just need these 3 to pop the drive shaft off. Yeah. And then after that, I'll be able to spin this thing around. So now the rear wheels are just sitting on the floor. And then after that, let's see. There's the center support. Okay. And then now we're gonna go to the front part of the drive shaft. Remove 2 and 3 bolts there, and now I'm gonna spray some penetrant, try to loosen this drive shaft on this side, and then use a pry bar. It's my trans already lowered, so I basically have to disconnect this. It's probably neutral safety switch, whatever that is, I don't know. Yeah, after that I'm just gonna have to unbolt the bell housing bolts, and I'll be ready to drop this thing out of here. It's fairly simple actually. This connector just goes on and it just comes out. Let me show you. Okay. Well, anyways, let's see if I can reconnect it. There you go. So it's reconnected now. Now I just can pull on it and it just comes off like that. So basically right now all of our connections, everything is disconnected pretty much, and I'll just go for these bell housing bolts all the way around. So it's 17mm all the way around. I'm gonna start unbolting this thing. Okay, so I'm just basically loosening them up. I'm gonna go to the top ones now. I'm gonna remove the top ones. Okay, just wanted to show you. Since I don't have a long extension, just came out right here where I was removing the starter. And I'm using the breaker bar to break those upper bell housing bolts loose on both sides. And then I'm gonna remove them completely. Okay, now just keep going around, and the main thing is that you have to remove the upper bolts first, and then after that you're gonna be removing the bottom ones. Okay, as you can see, there's a, I don't know if you'll see that, but there's a nut on this side, so you have to hold the nut and then spin the bolt out. Okay. That bolt is out, and actually they do have washers, so don't lose the washers. I got these 4 bolts left on the bottom. Now I jacked up this thing a little bit more, and little by little I'll be removing these bolts. Okay, another bolt. Okay, like now I have 2 more left. Okay. Another bolt. This is the last bolt that I'm removing from this thing. Okay, let's remove this last bolt. And then we'll double check everything and be ready to drop this thing. And also, you have to note that these 2 bottom bolts are longer than the other ones, so put them to a different spot. Okay, so now I'll be trying to drop this transmission. All the bolts are out, everything, and I'm gonna go to the back, and you know, luckily we were able to drain the torque converter and all that stuff, so there's gonna be not so much fluid if any of the fluid, so we'll see. And yeah, let's try to drop this trans finally. Okay. Just want to make sure that nothing is in the way. Move everything out of the way. It's probably going to be a little difficult, but let's try. Since this jack stand is in the way. Okay, let's try this thing. Okay. Let's see. There you go. Now, see, the torque converter stayed in place, which is good. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna carefully lower this thing. Okay. Just want to make sure nothing gets caught up or anything like that. This cable right here, the throttle body cable. Not the throttle body, I mean, but the one that goes from the gas pedal to the thing. Let me fix that. Got caught up here. And now it's free. All that stuff. Okay. Let's look at the other side. Make sure everything is good. Okay. Of course, it's much easier when you have a lift, but I don't really have a lift. Okay. Just gotta be really careful. Okay. Now I'm lowering it little by little. I'm just gotta keep checking all this stuff. There's my line. I don't need that. Okay. I can just carefully keep lowering this thing. Okay, some cables, that's fine. Okay. Alright, so basically this thing is out of the way. now I'm just gonna need to make some space so I can basically, you know, remove the strands out of here. Okay, here's my trans, okay, with the torque converter, all that stuff. Alright, and this is the cable I was talking about. It's up there. Okay, now I'm just gonna try and you know, pull this transmission out of here so we have space. Trans. So I was maneuvering this jack. I was able to tilt it down so it can pass through the bottom of the engine. Okay. Here's my tranny. Okay, so it's not so bad to do all that work on this thing. Okay. This is how everything looks without the transmission and the flywheel, all that good stuff. Okay. That was the transmission removal out of 1985 300 SD. I hope you liked the video. If you like it, subscribe to my channel. And yeah, there's gonna be more videos. I'm parting this car out now, and yeah, probably I'll use all of these parts on my new 300 SD. That's gonna have a title, so yeah, just stay tuned and I'll see you later.